What?
What? John, I'm reading a book about belly dancing. I'm trying to get a little more naval intelligence here. You know, hey, belly dancing isn't easy, John. All right? No, it's a shaky business. All right. I mean, you know, do you think they sit around twiddling their thumbs all day? All right. Come on, John. They're abdominal showmen.
With
Kensil culture, puppets, props, puns, podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Kensil Culture, the pop culture magazine. And here he is. I'm the legendary Wid, and right here he is, our namesake, the one and only, what do we call him? We call him the Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice hand for Kensil Culture himself, John Kensil.
Hey, nitwits. Wid, just mentioned belly dancing. Wid used to be the doorman / comedian at the Comedy Works on top of the Middle East restaurant.
The Middle East restaurant on Chestnut Street here in Philadelphia.
And on the second floor,
there was
a Middle Eastern restaurant. And there was belly dancers there.
Right.
And
that's why I have all those belly dancer jokes. Abdominal showman is my favorite one.
Oh,
it's like the abominable snowman. But
well, I remember you go to the comedy club there, and the Comedy Works was a major room.
Oh yeah,
comics would do New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, I think Richmond, Virginia, a couple in between them. So they had a whole circuit. They could go up and down all year round, make tons of money. But the Middle Eastern restaurant was on the second floor, and they used to have belly dancers galore. And wait, I don't know. I'm not into belly dancing. It's like, ugh.
Can I tell you, at some times, woo, it was wild and beautiful. And what they would solicit, with the Little Egypt sort of moves and stuff like that, but they would move their hips in such a way that it went to the music so well, the Middle Eastern music so well, that you kind of got hypnotized by it.
But it sounds like the king cobras are going to drop out of the ceiling and nip at me.
Well, this was before Hustler and Playboy magazine and all those,
Wait, you have glasses.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the belly dancers and the hula dancers on the Hawaii Five-0 they're doing the same shaking? Well,
the Hawaiians, they stole it from the Middle Eastern people.
I know what the difference is between the hula dancers and the belly dancers. About 40 pounds.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, Hawaii. No, but belly dancing is something that, And Little Egypt was at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago.
What is that?
Little Egypt was one of the, she brought belly dancing to the American culture. The American pop culture became that from the 1893. And that's where the song,
that was her?
That was improv. Yeah, that was improv by somebody who was in the band that thought maybe that would be a little bit Middle Eastern.
Now, the Tayuns, what nationality are they?
They're Lebanese.
But belly dancing was all that area over there, Egyptian and Yankton.
Egyptian. If you say it wasn't in Egypt, you'd be in denial. Sorry.
Squid.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about Center City, Philadelphia.
Center City, Philadelphia.
Okay. Well, one of the, two of the Three Stooges were from Philadelphia. One of them being Larry Fine, who supposedly grew up at, where John's is at. Was that 4th and South, 3rd and South?
That is 3rd and South.
Right.
I don't think he was brought up there.
I know.
I've just been seeing some of his interviews, and he talks, there was more of a Jewish area a little further south. That's where he came from, and also Joey Bishop was from the same neighborhood.
It was
Philadelphia.
It was 30 years ago last week, that Curly Joe DeRita died, 1993.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right, and he
I
was,
never saw Curly Joe DeRita in anything else but being the fourth stooge.
he looked like this guy, only fatter, and he had a big bubble. But he had a cigar, and his catchphrase Curly was a woo 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 Mo look right. Curly Joe was a 65-year-old man going, "Hey, buddy boy, knock it off, buddy boy." And it was awful, but he was from Philadelphia too.
He was pretty bad. He only did it for a couple of years, didn't he?
Well, in the late 50s, 1958, 56, 58, is when the Stooges shorts were sold to syndicated TV. So kids growing up in the 50s and early 60s were bombarded with the Little Rascals, the Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, wrestling, all syndicated
That's
shows.
my whole life. Wrestling is
Wrestling.
I can't.
Horror movies, Dracula,
I could never get a
Frankenstein.
grip of that.
Oh, but they were wrestling grip. But all these syndicated shows, and smartly, the Honeymooners and I Love Lucy were even though they were like new, but they were syndicated. But so the
Boy, I saw every one of both of those. Every Lucy, every Honeymooner. I've seen every one of them.
So
Butterworth.
they made the last Three Stooges short film. It was only 20 minutes long with Joe Besser. It's an awful one too, where it's photographs of a UFO, and it turns out it was a pie plate with whipped cream on it. And it's awful. It was the last one they made. That was filmed December.
I just saw that one, and
it was just
they were getting the UFO. Okay, honest to gosh, I just saw that one, and it was a photography contest.
Yes.
Okay, and they had to do it. There were a couple funny things in it that I laughed at. It was interesting.
Mo and Larry were brothers in that and lived with their alcoholic mom.
Oh,
And she kept throwing whiskey bottles in the fireplace and it was filled to the top. Well, Curly Joe played their cousin. Joe Besser, the big sissy one, he played their cousin, and he was like Cinderella. They're always picking on him.
Joe Besser from the Abbott and Costello show, best known as Stinky.
It was weird seeing a short, fat, sissy man.
Hey, I'm sitting right.
Right,
I'm sorry.
and like he'd be like, "Not so hard." Now, weird too. There's a misnomer about that too. In his contract, he said Mo couldn't hit him.
Right. That's
Well,
what I
in
hear.
that one, in the one you saw there, Mo hits him. Right.
No, yeah, but
Not. He breaks a painting over his head. Or something.
It wasn't. He didn't take the pain
Right.
that Curly took.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well-
or the humiliation of Shemp.
Well, that movie was filmed like December 7th or December 21st,
59.
58, and December 27th is when they shut down making the Three Stooges. But what happened was, and people always go, "Oh, they're all broken. They got ripped off." They were paid for their things. Well, what happened was, in syndication, there was a huge demand to see the Stooges.
Oh yeah.
Well, Joe Besser couldn't do it because he said he had to take care of his sick wife. So they hired Curly Joe DeRita, who's a fat guy with a crew cut.
He kind of looked like a cross between both of those.
Yeah,
guys,
right.
Between
And
the real Curly and.
Exactly, right. And it's funny. When I'm saying they're old men, here they look like old men to me. Here they're like my age. They're like our age now, right? They're like anyway. So they start making personal appearances. They made more money making personal appearances at malls and saying hi to kids. And one of my favorite stories is kids could noticeably tell Curly Joe DeRita was not curly, right? And they were sick of being bombarded with that. So this little kid says, "Where's Curly? Who's that? Where's Curly?" Larry Fine was tired of answering the question. And he said, "Curly's dead, kid." And the kids started crying. They had to tell him what happened. But
I know that you're a big fan of the Three Stooges. That's why at a thrift store this week,
Yes?
I picked up another masterpiece. You know I'm into art, John.
Larry's-
you know I'm into art.
Larry Fine's Merkin.
That was his real hair. Right here.
Oh, look at that.
John, I'm presenting this to you. Here,
Oh, thank
you. Let's get Curly Joe DeRita out of the way. All right. But this is a painting from life, okay, of the Three Stooges, okay. Of course, Larry looks a little bit.
He looks different.
Yeah, he does look a little bit different. I kind of like it though. And Mo right over there. But They tried to add they tried to add a fourth stooge there to try to do it, okay? And
I'll murder you in Dallas.
but right over there, I'm trying to set a precedent here, okay? But I'm just thinking, Mo, Larry, and John.
Ich bin ein Porcupine.
And, they could write a song about that. Has anybody seen? Okay, my old friend Larry.
Wait, how go to your eye? What's written on the back of that? Or is that just a stamp?
I don't, I don't know. That's just a piece of.
Very, very cool, though. It's a.
And did you know
Yes.
that it came with right over here? Officially,
What's that?
one of the Three Stooges, okay? This is official Three Stooges merchandise right over here. And we know what this is for, John.
What is that?
Okay. This is for practicing, okay?
Oh, my head.
You got to, and when, you got to hit the forehead. You can't hit them in the eyes. And sometimes in the Three Stooges, okay, it is so obvious that they're hitting the forehead instead of the anything else. But right over here, John, I want you to keep this amongst your souvenirs, okay? Here.
I'll break it in.
Let's give him a big hand.
I'll break it in tonight.
What?
They
Hey, watch out, that got a nail in it.
Weird. When I was a little kid in Philadelphia.
Okay. About 4 years ago.
Yes, I saw Mo Howard.
Wow.
When I was a kid. It might have been the Three Stooges. I was like 4 or 5. My dad took us down to the Thrill Show at the JFK Stadium.
But you remember Mo the most?
My dad had a picture somewhere. They're real far away, but they're wearing tuxedos. But they're in Philadelphia. They had the Thrill Show, which was cops and firemen would come out and do a show.
Yeah.
And it raised money funds for like people who were injured in fires. But in Philadelphia, Mike Douglas was a talk show host. So he's like an afternoon Johnny Carson. Mo was always on it. Mo would fly in from California. And he looks just like me. He had gray hair, and he would always appear. I guess one of the appearances.
Well, it was, Mo was he was very serious about the Stooges. He would talk. He wouldn't talk. Goofy or funny or he didn't hit any. He would. He seemed like a real knuckles and know-how sort of performer.
And now Wid grew up watching New York TV, but in Philly we had a cartoon show host named Sally Starr, and Mo was always on it. And they were always fearful that they thought kids were trying to impersonate the Stooges and smack each other with hammers and hurt them. Mo always warned. He always said, we never did it. It was always props or fake. We never hurt each other. And even the eye poke, if you ever watch, it's always right here above their eyes. Why you never like really hitting them. But Wid had a guy up in New York, Officer Joe Bolton and somebody else.
Officer Joel Bolton, and he would do the same things. Hey, kids. Don't try this at home. That basic speech. It goes, these are professionals, professional eye pokers, or, professional saw under the nose. That's what I would, or with a hammer and lifting up. Oh, I love that stuff.
I'll circumcise you. But he had the Stooges. All right, so Larry had a stroke in 1970, which basically ended their touring career. But during the early 70s, Mo and Larry took ceramic classes. And there's a lot of pictures online and they used to get a little, it looked like a beagle's head, a dog's head, a beagle, and you could put your eyeglasses on it. They were eyeglass holders. But I just saw something online that I thought it was kind of neat. There's an actor named Cary Grant.
Cary, booty.
Well, Cary Grant, someone put up a typed letter today of Cary Grant.
Okay.
Said, "Dear Mo, thank you very much for the mug." And Cary Grant wrote a letter to Mo thanking him for his mug. Right? It's actually very interesting. I have it on my phone, right? And another thing that was really neat too was in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania, not too far from here.
Nope.
Right? There's a Stoogeum. It's a museum dedicated to all the Stooges. Right?
Look that up, folks. Stoogeum. Okay.
It's run by a relative of who's married to one of the granddaughters of like one of the Stooges, right? But it's what do you call it? A labor of love. Labor of love, yes. In this place, it's even if you're not a Stooge fan, they have scripts, models, costumes, pictures, photographs in a 60-seat theater showing Stooges. But it's only open by appointment only. But my friend Al, he's a milkman, Civil War reenactor.
Yes.
Well, it rained this weekend. I said, hey, want to go to State Gym? And he said, yeah, really, I'm really excited about going to the museum and seeing Curly Joe Doritos canceled checks.
That would excite me.
Yes. And they have them there, too. I saw online, too, you can buy like a Mo Howard canceled check.
Yeah.
But they're going for like $6,500. It's like to the LA gas company, $14. But that's, wait. That's it for this segment, this show.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our little discussion on the Three Stooges. Three of our big heroes, all right? They wouldn't be the same just individually. They have to be together. And that, the Three Stooges and us two Stooges are very big fans, and we're hoping that you're a big fan too by pressing that subscribe button, please, and ringing that bell. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, for John Kensil and the legendary Wood, this has been Kensil Culture.